I've got the thing here with the wrong speakers. Okay, so then Carol, you have anything to report? Nothing? Okay. The newsletter, Tom?
Just thanks, Jerry, for another article. And it was nice to get one from Bob Piontek, even though I called him Tom.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so he was at Corning Glassworks, and some
Yeah.
shots of the 200-inch. So it's neat. So, please send things.
Yes, if anyone wants to write a little blurb or something every month or just 1 month, send it in to Tom.
Right, and again, I use my personal home address, that is advertised there. So the committees,
Yeah.
so that's where you should send it. So I don't have newsletter at
Okay, and copy me or someone else on it too, because sometimes my email to that address doesn't go through. My machine doesn't seem to like it going on. You had a comment?
I just sent a copy of my newsletter.
Oh, really? No. So, there's a lady down here that hasn't received her newsletter in about 4 months. So you get it by snail mail or email?
Come see me at the break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come and see it.
I just did it.
There you go. Okay. And the merch manager next.
Back again, you guys probably know the spiel, that I've added the hat, remember the hat, and a mug. There's a patch that we have too, which I think is pretty cool.
It is, it's beautiful.
And of course our beautiful blanket too. One of the people was saying that when it was so hot, this was the only thing he used to keep himself covered, you could say. And it's really soft inside, and it's a beautiful blanket, so I highly recommend it. And our cats like it.
Do you have a white cat? That's the way it works. The workshop, Tom, do you have it?
Yeah, we had four people. We usually have Tim, me, and pretty much Bruce.
Okay.
Bruce Murdoch, always there.
Okay.
But John showed up.
And how is Tim's mirror?
It's getting close.
Okay.
They're not ready for numbers yet, but the edges. Yeah, working on the edge,
Okay. I should be there this Tuesday.
Great. Could always use some more eyes.
Okay. Art, you have anything you want to say, inventory management?
I promised I have promised a C8, and I was supposed to call the fellow Wednesday morning to go and get it. And about 10 minutes before I picked up the phone, he called me and canceled, so I'll see him this Wednesday.
Okay, well, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we have the food manager, Tom.
Refreshments. Okay, so we have a sign-up list for bringing in food. So if you like a certain type of food, you can sign up and bring that in. We do need some sign-ups. We're empty for September, so I really appreciate it. In fact, I'm going to pass it around, see if anybody gets tempted just passing it by.
And we
Get healthy that they should bring some food.
we'd like to give a shout out to John Enkins, who did a beautiful
John brought in
job.
tonight. So there's
Yay.
And he brought salmon, which is in the cooler, so it's gonna be an amazing spread.
Okay, more in the coolers. And if you need a drink, they're in the cooler over here. Please stay and enjoy some snacks. Lots of little chocolates today. And
Yeah, there's
chips
a
and
lot
popcorn,
of
so
individually wrapped chocolate over
coconut
there.
cookies, so plenty to. There's a campground coming up, Chuck, and that is, we haven't arranged a caterer for the main food on that yet. We're gonna look into the Kachuma folks. So that'll be coming up, what date is that, September?
September 27th and 28th.
28th, so that'll be into September, so we could have a sign up in the next meeting for that, first Friday in September. And anything else stays on that we need to
We've
mention?
got some items that people left.
Oh, okay, so we have some some things that were left at the potluck in June that we recognize it. They say, oh, Carol's putting her finger up, okay. You should grab those 3 leaves. Talk about it in December. December, we haven't figured that out. No, that's a good point.
No, I'll pick.
We're looking into, we're thinking about, instead of going to the Flight Line restaurant this year for the holiday meal, which is in Galena, used to be used to be called the Elephant Bar, right? And also High Sierra, now I think it's supposed to be called the Flight Line. We did this last couple of years, we went there, it was about $30 a person, and the club chipped in about $6 a person for appetizers. Although one year we didn't get the appetizer, they forgot about it, so sounds too bad. So we're looking at catering, because we have the ability to use the Fleischmann Auditorium, it's gonna be finished by December. And we're thinking about, well, okay, let's get a caterer in to bring food in and do it that way. But it turns out it's like a minimum of 35, maybe even
No, not
closer to
35,
40.
it's more than that.
To per person, plus the appetizers are more expensive with these caterers. So we're thinking about, well, let's do a potluck, you know, but the club could provide a chunk of ham and a chunk of turkey, and otherwise bring in the salads and other desserts and things that way. So those would be a favor of, do it here, Fleischmann Auditorium, yeah.
Well, in all fairness, we are discussing these things at the administration meeting.
Yeah, just
And-
get a feel.
And the club does subsidize it, so, we can be at Fleischmann and yet still keep the cost of $30 per person.
And not
Subsidizing.
With a caterer?
Oh.
And not do potluck, we do
Well,
cater.
yeah, that's a question, if you want the club to subsidize $15 a person.
Yeah, that's.
So that would bring in some people probably, if we
Yeah.
subsidize that much.
Mhm.
Colin?
No, I was just saying, if anybody has any suggestions or any thoughts on it, email somebody, let us know and we'll probably make that decision at that.
Or come to next Saturday's
Yeah, or
administration
better
meeting.
still come to the board meeting.
Yeah, I just to get a feel, it is, you know, people who like the restaurant idea that we try to do versus catering versus a potluck style. So those who think restaurant might be the best way to go. Those who like it, you can raise your hand each time if you want to. Questions, Chris?
How many people usually show up? Because
About 40. We're
the
trying to
reason why I
get
asked
40.
is because of parking.
Yeah.
You know, that's a-
here.
The parking was fine, the
I mean, if
bar.
we're gonna do a restaurant, other than the
They have to have parking, usually they have parking, I get close to big restaurants that have a room where you need to go, there's usually several areas they have room. But restaurant versus, okay, say, try to do the catering, kick in for catering, help the club work out on that. Or do potluck style with the club putting in the main entree. Okay, this gives us a feel. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
Appreciate
Tom.
that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and Tom is also our webmaster, now that Paul is not with us.
So I'd like a feel on the web as well. How many people have checked out SBAU.org in the past month? Okay, that's not too bad. Is it mostly for the upcoming event?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Okay, it's the main page. All right, thank you, appreciate that. And yeah, please visit our web page, and every day, every time you log in to the main homepage and you refresh it, you'll get a different picture coming up. So don't be freaked out by that this picture, it just sends another Flickr one. So if I refresh this right now, you'll see the photo will be a different photo. That's one of our schools that we do the outreaches with. Chuck sets up to do those school science nights. So don't be freaked out that the picture changes each time. And Jerry, I guess that's enough for now.
Thank you, Tom, again. Next is Chuck with the outreach.
Go to.
That's the events calendar page. Okay, you know, that was the last Carpinteria State Beach in July was canceled. It turns out that the two different groups there at Carpinteria State Beach that do events for people scheduled movie night on the Linden Lawn on the same night that we were coming with telescopes. And Leanne said she was doing one of the campfire shows and only 6 people showed up. So we canceled out on those Wednesday nights, but we'll be starting up again in August. So anyway, here's August. Last night we were at the Bacara. And had a good turnout, 151 people, and a decent night. It's amazing. We got the biggest crowd for just an ISS pass. It wasn't even very good, just over the mountains. But everybody heard about it, and so they were all hanging out there waiting for the ISS to go over. And then, of course, tonight we have our meeting. Tomorrow night, Kachuma Lake. Pretty dark there unless you have somebody with a nuclear Coleman lantern camping next door. But we set up on the field at Dakota Plains there, and we have a slideshow beforehand in the Fireside Theater. And then every Thursday in August, we'll be back at Bacara, so August 8th.
Chuck, on Kachuma, how do you get into Kachuma to participate?
If you're coming with a telescope, or with the AU, tell them you're there for the star party with the astronomical unit. You're a volunteer, and they should wave you through the gate.
You don't need a telescope, right?
You don't need a telescope, no. I mean, we have people. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're an AU person, you're helping out. So yeah.
Yeah, they're really
But
good about it.
for the general public, they're going to charge $10 a carload, because it's admission by the car that comes in. And then Friday the 9th is Refugio State Beach, so a week from tonight. That's nice and dark. We set up in the southwest corner, so you come in through the kiosk, and if you say you're there for the star party, they should just let you in, or if it's closed, you just drive on in. They leave the gate open that's on the southwest corner, so if you try to go in the main normal entrance, you'll find a gate that you can't go through to get to the Davis parking lot. But if you kind of curl around to the right and follow the periphery of the camping area, you'll come to a gate that lets you get out on the Davis parking lot, and we set up out there. It's amazingly good for being right next to the ocean. It can be totally fogged in here, and it's great over there. There's something about the airflow down that canyon that works really good. And sometimes we get nice laminar flow, and it's very steady for planetary units. And then, of course, second Saturday of the month at 6, we'll have the planning meeting, so the board meeting right next door over here, next to Javier's office, where we'll talk about the potluck, the Christmas party, potential potluck, the camp out, stuff like that. And then we'll have pizza. And then that's right before at 8 o'clock, we'll have this public star party here where we set up along the little road going to the observatory. And all these things are, except for the car access at Kachuma, all these things are free. And then Telescope Tuesday is second Tuesday of the month, so we set up at 7 p.m. there. We will have a nice moon to look at early on, so we'll set up at 7 there at Camino Real Marketplace in the pit there next to the theater. And then, of course, again, every Thursday at Bacara. And then third Friday of the month is monthly public telescope night at Westmont. They have a nice, big 24-inch scope there in a dome. And then pretty much the Saturdays when we're not here, we're at Kachuma Lake. So we're 17th, we're at Kachuma Lake. And then Thursday again, Bacara. Friday the 23rd, again back to Refugio. 24th, on Saturday, we go back to Carpinteria State Beach. We've been doing them on Wednesday nights, but this will be a Saturday night. And then the following Wednesday, we'll be back there. And we set up, if you're going into the main entrance off of, I think, Palm Avenue, you go to the kiosk and say you're there with the astronomical unit, and they just let us park anywhere around. And we set up on the sidewalk toward the ocean, so we're more prominent to catch victims. We also have a slideshow there in their Fireside Theater. Again, Thursday, Bacara. And then during the year, they're having telescope parties at this Los Flores Ranch Park up in Santa Maria. We can't make a lot of those because they conflict with our other outreach, but this is one that was open. It's a pretty dark site. And so you go up there and get on this Dominion Road, which is out through a bunch of oil-producing, stuff and a couple of vineyards. And they have a main entrance, but we're set up with one that's a bit north of the main entrance. It's a road that will have signs saying you can come in. It's a dirt road. You drive up, and we set up in a little field along that road, and people come out. And that's something we do in conjunction with the Central Coast Astronomical Society, which is the club that's in San Luis Obispo, and what used to be the Vandenberg Club, Vandenberg Amateur Astronomical Society. They've renamed themselves in the last month, and now they call themselves something like the Lompoc.
Astronomy Club of Lompoc or something.
Astronomy Club of Lompoc. So they've renamed themselves, but they usually have a couple of guys there. And then back to Kachuma again at the end of the month. And then I think we have one or two more Kachumas, and we just, with the Bacara, a week from this last one. So 2 weeks ago, I emailed the person that we've been talking to at Bacara since 2001. That person is no longer there. They either quit or somehow departed. So now we're dealing with somebody new that we don't get cookies anymore apparently. But they do still bring out the hot chocolate. And this new person is also part of their Cousteau Ocean Futures group that is now affiliated with Ritz-Carlton's around the world. So they do naturalist type stuff there. And so that's the person we're dealing with who isn't really familiar with us. And so I've just been trading emails with her, and she wants us like to continue coming every Thursday. Normally it was just June, July, August, but I think she wants us for the next couple of months every Thursday. What do people think about that? Is that kind of like overkill?
Yeah.
It's a nice place to go.
Yeah, tell them the cookies.
Yeah.
As long as they keep the cocoa coming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to burn people out. Plus, we start to get, I mean, we're going to have our campouts, we're going to have RTMC, and we start to get school science nights on Thursday
Are they
nights.
gonna donate more, or are they expecting us just to keep cranking out these nice shows for nothing?
Well, no, I mean, well, okay. So nominally, they agreed to give us $50 as a donation every time we come out with telescopes there, which is like dirt cheap, right? I mean, but.
Yeah.
But still, for a while there, they didn't pay us. And then just before they changed to Ritz-Carlton, the lady that was there, who was also helping out with the lady I normally dealt with, who also disappeared when it became Ritz-Carlton, said, oh, we haven't paid you in ages, we gotta fix this up, and they sent like a check for $2,000.
That's good.
This current episode, since January, I don't think we've gotten anything from the Colon, have we? From anything?
I haven't seen anything, but I'm trying to get I think Pat's on vacation or something,
Okay.
so I'm still working on getting a reconciliation with
Okay.
this.
I somehow doubt that we've gotten anything for the ones we've done this year so far.
I'd say before we commit to doing every week forever,
Yeah,
we like to see George Washington.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're nonprofit. We're nonprofit, so it has to kind of. I mean, we can't demand money from them, right? Because it's a nonprofit thing. So,
We can ask, please.
yeah, I know.
It's, just.
But you can let them know if they give money, you're likely to have more telescopes.
Yeah, and more available time. So anyway, okay, I'll run that around with them, but I don't think we want to keep doing every Thursday, just because we'll have other
Now,
stuff.
two of these Mondays during this month, we have radio shows.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
And that will be
also.
on the 12th.
Second and fourth Mondays are the radio show with the Baron
Yeah.
on KZSB. So that's somewhere up here. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then there's also the Tuesday night telescope workshop, but not the Tuesday that we're at Community Rail Marketplace, so not second Tuesday.
Also, excuse me, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that's outreach.
Oh, so
Do you announce this? Or
Oh, we
did you
have.
announce it before? Okay.
Okay. So the August meeting for the administrative meeting, which happens a week from tomorrow night, that's our target date for setting, choosing how we're the format for the Christmas dinner or year-end dinner. So if you have any input, send it to us before then or come to the meeting. And with that, we'll introduce our vice president, we'll introduce our speaker.
And folks, I just want to point out, it does say the SBAU Google Calendar, so if you have Google Calendar, you can add our calendar to your calendar if you want, and it comes out, put it in a different color. So, or you can just click on that, and it'll go show a monthly calendar, and you can click on each of those little things and find out what's going on. So, and sometimes I add some things that aren't part of Chuck's events. Sometimes they're just like astronomy on tap, or if I find out some KITP event, I'll put those on the Google Calendar just as a possible.
Also, the Night Sky Network, if you go to nightsky.jpl.nasa.gov, they have our outreach calendar. And I put the 3 main events that we do, the second Saturday, the second Tuesday, and the third Friday events up on EdHat, so
Okay,
in their events
Now,
calendar.
yeah,
I just have one comment before you introduce me.
yes.
You might want to mention 3 young ladies who came before the board last month and what they asked us. Is that worth reporting on? Or have you
Sure.
not thought about that?
Was that last month?
Yep.
Was this recent? Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Girl Scout.
Yeah, the Girl Scouts, person at the museum here that now, or that used to have Javier's job before Javier came in, Chrissy, what's her last name?
Chrissy Cook.
Cook, that's right. She's troop leader for the Girl Scouts, or associated with the Girl Scouts, and she and 2 Girl Scouts came here representing the troop. And they're setting up an astronomy club, coordinated with this club.
Good, yeah,
And so we're getting that going. Is
excellent.
there anything else you want to say?
No, that's
Okay.
covering, I'm ready to introduce our guest.
No stalling, come on.
Viva la fiesta. Rest of the town is out fandango dancing and eating tortas and riding the zipper attraction over at the carnival. We got a good turnout, I'm glad, we're on a roll. Had some good speakers, and I'm proud to say they're all showing up. We've got some great Italian astronomers, Fermi, Cassini, and now Campanieri. Except we're going the other direction, microscopic again. Of course, we all have telescopes, but it's just as far away and as distant in that direction where we look at night as it is. Just as fascinating, this Higgs boson thing. I thought I'd real quickly, though, tell you who's coming.